From MTN News, this is Montana This Morning.
Harris and Trump both claimed victory in their first presidential debate. I'm Jared Hill in Philadelphia with a recap of the matchup.
I'm Jonathan Amberian in Helena. I'll have a closer look at the statewide assessment scores for students across Montana in the last year before a big change in the testing model.
This might look like a typical library. However, the kids here at Saddle Peak Elementary School tell me it turns into a magical portal. I'm Megan Elaine telling you all about it coming up.
Alrighty, it is 6 o'clock on this Wednesday morning. Jane McDonald and Matt Elwell with you bright and early. And Matt, I unfortunately got to say, today might be a stay inside and reading kind of day.
It kind of is. With the air quality we've had, I think we've had a lot of that going on. I know a lot of sporting events and practices canceled yesterday for good reason. I think we are seeing some improvement, definitely in the Bozeman and out toward West Yellowstone. Some improvement. We're sitting in moderate there. Butte, Dillon, Hamilton, all sitting in the unhealthy range, so we're not out of in the clear yet. Temperatures this morning fairly warm. We do have a little bit more cloud cover to start the day. The afternoon bringing some showers and thunderstorms, and it looks like we could see a pretty good cool down as we head into your Thursday. We are still seeing temperatures into the 70s, near average, if not a little above, but we are seeing rain chances picking up across the area for the afternoon and evening. I'm going to talk more about the timing and what to expect in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you very much, Matt. Well, just hours ago, Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump wrapped up their highly anticipated debate with razor-thin margins, currently separating the two in the latest CBS News Battleground polls. For about 90 minutes, the candidates went head-to-head on some of the nation's top issues as they continue to try and win over the remaining undecided voters who could determine the outcome of the 2024 race. CBS News' Jared Hill is in Philadelphia with a recap of some of the night's biggest moments and early reaction from the candidates themselves. Have a good debate.
A handshake kicked off the first meeting between former President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris. But the 90-minute debate soon turned into a sparring match over issues like the economy.
I imagine and have actually a plan to build what I call an opportunity economy.
I had no inflation, virtually no inflation. They had the highest inflation.
Abortion.
For years, they wanted to get it out of Congress and out of the federal government, and we did something that everybody said couldn't be done.
The government, and Donald Trump certainly, should not be telling a woman what to do with her body.
And immigration.
They've destroyed the fabric of our country. Millions of people let in.
What we have in the former president is someone who would prefer to run on a problem instead of fixing a problem.
The former president even spreading misinformation about migrants in Ohio.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats.
He also repeatedly worked to link Harris to President Joe Biden, who dropped out of the race in July.
She is Biden. You know, she's trying to get away from Biden.
I am not Joe Biden, and I am certainly not Donald Trump. And what I do offer is a new generation of leadership for our country.
Both candidates continued to make their case after the debate. Vice President Harris greeting supporters at an event here in Philadelphia, while former President Trump claimed victory in the spin room with reporters.
This was my best debate. I thought it was very good.
This is very much two different visions for our country.
Both campaigns taking a pause today to mark 23 years since the September 11th attacks are back in the swing states tomorrow. Jared Hill, CBS News, Philadelphia.
And the Harris-Walz ticket got a major celebrity endorsement just minutes after the debate wrapped up from Pennsylvania native and pop star Taylor Swift. She posted on social media, quote, "I believe we can accomplish so much more in this country if we are led by calm and not chaos," end quote. Swift also explained that she was motivated to state her intentions due to fake AI images the former president circulated that falsely claimed she was endorsing him. Though she also told her more than 280 million Instagram followers that the choice is theirs. Tomorrow, Harris will be in North Carolina and Trump will be in Arizona. Now, back in Montana, speed limit changes are likely to impact your commute if it involves Oak and Kegi in Bozeman. Tuesday night, city commissioners voted 5-0 to lower the speed limit from 45 miles per hour to 35 miles per hour between 19th and 7th along Oak Street, and to lower the speed limit to 30 miles per hour on Kegi between 19th and Wilson. You might remember 2 years ago, a Bozeman High School teacher was hit and killed on Oak and 15th, and since then residents called on city leaders to lower speed limits. These two streets are the latest round to receive primary approval. One more vote is needed before the ordinance goes into effect. And the Montana Office of Public Instruction has released the latest rounds of student assessment data. The report shows math scores are slightly up in the state, while reading scores are slightly down. MTN senior political reporter Jonathan Amberian breaks down those numbers and why the data could be changing starting next year.
This year's statewide assessment scores for students from 3rd to 8th grade are based on just over half of the students in Montana in that age group. It's the last year that data will be based on the year-end Smarter Balanced assessment, as the state brings in a new through-year assessment model this year. Last year, just under 39% of students were reported at or above proficient in math. That percentage has increased each of the last 3 years, but it's still below where scores were before the COVID pandemic. For English and language arts, 44% of students are proficient or above, but that number has fallen each of the last 3 years after dropping from pre-COVID levels. Superintendent of Public Instruction Elsie Arnson says aggregate numbers may not be giving the full picture.
There are multiple stories with just a single number. Let's put it that way.
She says her office is more focused on cohort numbers, showing how proficient the same group of students has been each consecutive year. That data shows a drop in English and a bigger drop in math as they moved from 3rd grade to 8th grade.
We've got a trend of data that has come since we've had the disruption of learning. Disruption of learning was COVID. We all remember that something was lost during that period of time.
Arnson has long argued a year-end test isn't the best way to measure students' proficiency. This year, all Montana districts will be using the massed testing model, in which students will do 4 or 5 short testlets throughout the year instead of a large final assessment.
If the federal government demands that we have an assessment tool, should it not also be one that Montana teachers can also use as a way of enhancing their teaching?
The federal government has now also awarded Montana a $4 million grant to work on expanding the MAST program to science as well as math and English. Local level assessment results for individual schools and districts are now available on OPI's website. In Helena, Jonathan Amberian, MTN News.
And yesterday was a smoky day with unhealthy air all across our area. In Butte, student athletes unable to practice outside, and in Bozeman, thick with unhealthy smoke as well. MTN's Megan Thompson talks with Butte students who are now training indoors.
Well, it's usually frowned upon to run inside the school, but some of these kids here in Butte are getting the opportunity to run the halls for their cross-country team because the air quality outside is so bad that it's actually dangerous for them to breathe in.
Go!
Max limit?
Push yourself.
I would rather run outside, but because of the air quality outside, I would rather run in here. It'd be a lot easier to run in here than outside.
So we can definitely see today the air quality index is way worse than it was yesterday even.
Kelsey Thatcher is the athletics director at East Middle School. She uses information from the Montana DEQ to get hourly updates on the air quality. She also follows guidelines from the Montana Office of Public Instructions to make an informed decision on how to manage the practice and game schedules for hundreds of kids participating in sports on a smoky day like today.
I mean, it's cooler in here, but I kind of like seeing new things when I run. So I guess there's half and half.
It's tricky, you know, it's a tough position to be in because you hate to take away things for our kids, but at the same time, their safety is of the utmost importance to all of us.
So how does it feel to be able to run in the hallways?
A little bit rebellious.
While running the halls at school may not be the ideal setting for a cross-country star, most of the kids understand why they can't be outside today.
Especially when you're running and you're breathing all that smoke in, it's really not good for you. But it's kind of nice when you get to run in the halls and you know that if you were doing this at a different time of day, you'd get in trouble.
In Butte, Megan Thompson, MTN News.
Much, Megan. Now the city of Bozeman unveiled its new Fire Station 2 on the campus of Montana State University Tuesday morning. The new 13,000 square foot facility will replace the aging Fire Station 2 on South 19th. The city partnered with the university to lease the land to build a new station a few years ago. Bozeman Fire Chief Josh Waldo and President Wadad Cruzado says that this new fire station will not only serve Montana State's campus, but the rapidly growing south side of Bozeman. Cruzado was also gifted with a custom Bobcat blue and gold fire hat as a show of thanks. And we have an update for you on a story that we reported earlier in August. A Glacier High School soccer player has been released from the ICU after he was struck by lightning during practice on August 19th. An update on the family's GoFundMe page says Mason has been released from the ICU. He continues to make progress every day, and we are truly thankful. Mason's family tells MTN News his recovery is still ongoing at the hospital. Hundreds of people have supported a GoFundMe page to help cover Mason's medical expenses, with more than $70,000 raised as of Tuesday evening. We're going to continue to update you with this story as more information becomes available. And you can help put books in the hands of kids through our Give a Child a Book campaign. You can head over to our website, scan this QR code, and see just the impact that a single book can have on a child. And if you need any proof, take a look at this story right here. Each year, KBCK and the Scripps Howard Fund partners with 2 Title I Montana schools, giving kids free books. Our Megan Elaine caught up with some students and a teacher at Saddle Peak Elementary to see just how meaningful books are to them.
Books are seriously a magical adventure. At least that's what the kids here at Saddle Peak Elementary School in Belgrade tell me. And they're looking forward to receiving free books this year.
Last year, I felt pretty awesome.
4th grader Lori Hook recounts the Scripps Give a Child a Book giveaway, where she got to take free books home. Each year, KBZK and KXLF, along with the Scripps Howard Foundation, partner with 2 Title I Montana schools. Lori's favorite genre? History.
I just it makes me interested in learning about what came before me.
Her advice for those who don't read?
Find what makes it interesting. You could be a fantasy, history, geography. You can get into so many different things.
For 3rd grader Zeke, it's his passion for mythical creatures and dinosaurs.
I love T-Rexes, and if you look at a T-Rex, his skeleton at the right angle, it looks like a dragon.
Zeke tells me he's pretty much a pro at reading.
Started reading chapter books when I was in 1st grade.
3rd grade teacher Nicole Ramos emphasizes the importance of literacy benchmarks.
3rd grade is like a monumental year for when reading comprehension meets word accuracy, and the more students are able to read and have access to books, the more fluently they're going to be able to read, and the more fluently they read, the more they can comprehend what.
She says the Scripps Howard Free Book campaign gives kids a chance to build their own at-home library.
And then, when we have the free book fair, and that you see the stress just leave the kid because they know they can go and they can pick whatever book they want, and they get to take it home.
And for these kids, books are getting them closer to their dreams.
What makes me want to be an author is my great library teacher.
I want to be an author, an illustrator, a doctor. When I grow up, I want to be a paleontologist.
As Dr. Seuss says, oh, the places you'll go. To find out more and learn how you can give a child a book, visit our website. In Bozeman, Megan Elaine, MTN News.
I mean, it just puts a smile on your face, doesn't it?
With cute kids.
It's super cool. All right, 6:13 break coming your way. But before we get there, we're actually going to be heading over to Berlin this morning.
Okay, going off to Germany.
Why not? Alvida's saying to these apes.
Oh.
Now, it's just cool to see apes in a habitat, just period. But these gorillas, well, they are a part of a thing bigger than themselves. Those cameras that you saw in there, those are AI tools. They're currently studying these gorillas, and people are hoping to place these out in the wild to better monitor those endangered relatives of the gorillas.
Interesting.
Yeah, that way they can see, okay, are they developing this disease or this illness, this sickness, and that way they can be alerted to better protect those endangered species.
Very cool.
I
That's
think
cool
so.
use of technology for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, The gorillas don't seem to mind. Look at that. I mean, just the
There's
tracking.
a lot of information.
I like that. I like the yellow one up there.
Yeah.
Just swinging, having a good time, whatever. Woohoo! It's really a cool program, I think.
I'm interested to see what kind of results we get.
Me too. All right, time for that break. When we come back, though, we got your headlines. Matt's going to have another look at that forecast, and we have more news from Helena.
I'm Marion Davidson in Helena, and I'll tell you what the Montana Department of Justice is doing to combat the growing issues of human trafficking and online exploitation.